All right, this kind of sucks because I just accidentally paused my video, and I'm gonna start over here and do it real quick this time. So, got the pads installed. You got a set screw right here, and actually on the inside of it, you can see where it has a flat side. I don't know if you can really see it, but right there it has a flat side, so it prevents this from spinning using that stopping little pin right there. So just make sure the flat piece is facing the pin. Got these arms on there, pretty simple with set screws. This is kind of a little bit cumbersome. It has a two-piece block in here. Inside of here, you slide the spring, and then you got to compress them to make sure these arms can slide in, and then you drop these pins in, and then use these set screws to put in there. But these are some pins that pretty much goes through the center of it, and then you can see them protruding through the bottom right there. And then to collapse this, I mean, it takes a little bit of pressure, but you gotta like squeeze them inwards. But this is a little bit cumbersome, and then you also gotta use a screwdriver, flat screwdriver, to get these out. So who says there's not a purpose for flat screwdrivers? What else is there? These arms, they swing freely because I still have to install these. Basically unscrew, I'm pretty sure I just unscrew the ball, and then I use this lock ring. To put in this little groove right here, but I don't have my lock ring pliers. They're all packed away, just like my PEX that I had to buy. So I wish I had picked that up at AutoZone yesterday. We'll come back to talking about the cylinder because I kind of see what's going on there. So they're just attached. They do have a pin. Here's the pin up top. So they're not gonna go anywhere. The pin is in there. And I just figured, so there's this manual is horrible, because I literally just realized this. So you got these what appears to be shims, but then you have these lock rings, these black ones right here. You can see it. I just realized it goes literally right here. That's where the big ones, they actually go. So I need to find my big lock ring pliers to get these on there snapped in place, so this thing doesn't like work its way up for any reason. But it's the manual kind of sucks. The manual kind of sucks because I was looking at this and I was like, where do these white plugs go? I got two of them, and then I got a bunch of shims on here, which I honestly didn't use any of the shims. So at least I know where the lock pin goes. And then I have two additional screws here, which I'm not sure where they go. I do know that I used one of them or two of them for right here and here, but I don't know where those goes. I'll lower this lock. Basically, each of those have a flat washer and a lock washer. That center one is kind of short. I'm assuming it's just to avoid contact with the chain that's inside. So it's kind of shorter, but I wanted to have the maximum threads being going through those two plates. So this made a difference. Like you can see the bolts sticking through there on all of them. That comes down the side. However, that center one right up there is shorter for that said reason, because it's in the center line with the chain. So I removed this lock. Then I'm not certain where this goes. So I'll eventually lower it and show you. What else have I done? Let's see. Adapters are on there. They're just positioned there. ATEC motors, or TEC Motors, I believe his channel is called. TEC Motors. He has a video on this, and I hit him up and asked him for feedback. I'll give him credit in the comment section, because he helped me out on some of these dimensions and stuff, because my garage is a 2-car garage and I'm trying to make 2 cars fit in here. These ramps, they just slide in place. They just slide over there. They just can't really do it with one arm, but you can see where it just kind of, it has a little lip right there and it just fits. So it prevents the car from causing it to spin out. So it slides over it. So you got both of them. Same thing with this arm. I gotta install the lock ring and then install that piece right there. So I prevent it from swinging all the way around. Hydraulic cylinder. You need a, so this is a funnel buddy. You can see it up here and it's really narrow. And even then, it did not really fit all the way down in this little hole right here. So you almost need a smaller funnel, but that works just fine. It's just a large funnel like this, which would have been great. It's definitely not gonna fit. Try to keep my funnel inverted so I don't fill them up with dust. But anyway, this is how I kind of route the hydraulic line. This is how it looked on paper. It came with this 90 separate and then the straight line. So I just connected those two. There was a crush washer here, cranked it down right here, cranked it down right here. It hasn't been leaking. I keep putting my finger here just to see if I see any leak. And I did not put any Teflon tape on it. So if I figure if I've got to back it off, then I will. And then I just kind of routed it there. If you route it straight down the side, it's gonna create tension on the bottle. So in case it doesn't have that adequate clearance, I guess you could back this out a little bit. Sorry, you could back this out a little bit and just get it to go straight down, but it works going fairly at a 90 degrees right there. And then I just kind of looped it back. And then this side right here actually comes with it comes as a 90 degrees and this straight end just threaded end comes out. So this just comes out and it has some play in it. It will move. This is connected to the hydraulic cylinder and this threaded end, and you just kind of screw this on there. I think it's a 12 or a 13 millimeter that you use. And this is a same 12. I want to say this is like a 17 or something, open end. So yeah, I was able to hold that hydraulic 5-gallon bucket up and dump it in there. Occasionally it started gulping and then splash on the floor, but not too messy. Or actually, it wasn't that messy. It's just when I wasn't paying attention for a brief second, it filled up the funnel and then started gulping. What else is there? So we'll talk about what I initially saw in the last video. So this is at its max height right now. And I'm 6 foot tall. And if I stand right here, my head is basically in line with a column. I will have to do some slight dipping to get under there, slouching, but it definitely won't necessarily get, and I'm gonna flip the camera right here. And certainly, I doubt I'll be able to get the cars this high because you can see the ceiling. It doesn't really do justice, but if I can get a tape measure, I can see how far, approximately how far I have from the pad. Sorry about the shakiness. So I'm gonna put a tape measure here, get it going. So it's touching the ceiling, and from the ceiling I got 38.5 inches. So I think most cars are about 4.5, 5 feet tall. So certainly in a standard garage where my ceilings are 9 feet from the ceiling, I'm not gonna get full lift out of this. We'll talk about the play. Let's shake this stuff. You can see this thing like dancing left and right because my floor is not really centered or level, I guess. Some reason you can see it. Hopefully. It's pretty much rocking side to side. Look at the top. So there's that. That might be a little bit concerning, but I think you can shim those out. You know. You can certainly shim those out. Put this tape measure back. What else is there? So in the previous video I did this morning, I'm gonna rotate this vertical again. The center cylinder here was like zoom out, was shifting left and right, and now it's like pretty much solid. It's not, as you can see, it's not moving left or right. And that's because if we look down here, this thing is literally just held in place on the backside by something, and it literally just, let me get some light. It does not do justice. Clean my messy hutch here. Always have some eye wash, just in case. I need to rip this off, just so I can get to it if I need to. Anyway, so if we look here, the cylinder right here, I mean, you can see it. It's pretty much dead on right now in the center. And like I said, like you got the locks right here. But this thing, it does not appear to have anything holding it right now. This piece right here, you can see it's cut out. What was that? A bug? Which, in fact, this is slightly not centered. I feel like it's off, and I'm gonna actually undo it and center it up on it because it's slightly cockeyed. So that's what's keeping the cylinder from moving left to right. It's not bolted down or anything. So as I was saying this morning, when my cylinder was moving, I mean, you can see it. It has some play in there, but if I put tension on it, let's see. So it's plugged in. You got this like freaking pigtail black extension cord, and it's supposed to be mobile, right? But they give you just this, and I have a 50-foot extension. So watch my lights as I actuate this thing. By the way, you actuate it right here. That's where you raise it. So I'm gonna raise it and remove it from the locks. So it's coming up. So off the locks. So this has it's max travel. So, and I think I just tripped the breaker. Yeah, I think I just tripped. See if I can. Yeah, it doesn't have a. So maybe I'm gonna have to get some electrical upgrades to the amperage because it literally just tripped it. But see, you don't need electrical power to lower it, so that's a good thing. Because right now, the power is out basically because we tripped the breaker in here. I'm literally using my Milwaukee. As you can see, it's right up there on the stand, and then my Braun Harbor Freight. So the manual says you don't need electricity to lower this. The locks are disengaged because very well, they are now. I just pulled on it, and I just depressed this. And there she goes. She's going. There's no electricity in here because I tripped the breaker. And to prove my point, let's see. Light switch, nothing is going on. Yeah, garage door, non-functional. So all this is doing using gravity. Obviously with a car on it, we'll go faster. But I think the biggest lesson learned here is that don't like over stress the electric source by pressing it repeatedly. And then get a shorter, beefier extension cord that's applicable to your situation. In my case, this garage is like 20 feet by 20 feet. So a 25 footer will work just fine, if not less. But this is lowering nicely. Pause for a second. We'll take a look at the chain. Pretty beefy chain. It does have the tension on there right now. So you can see this cylinder does have some play, but I'm assuming it would have a lot more tension on it if it had weight on it. But it's not like hitting on the side, and as you can see, it's pretty much symmetrical left and right. So, I mean, I can't pull it back, and you can see how many what do you call it? I forgot what these things are called, but yeah, it looks pretty beefy. We'll continue to lower it all the way down, and then I'll have to go in the house and reset my breaker. So all I'm doing is pressing on this handle. And what I didn't capture was the going up portion, because I'm not gonna redo this video. But basically when the locks are going up, I guess it helps if you have these fully left to right. I was shaking like a bad boy. Yeah. Anyway. Yep, so it's fully lowered. I know you can't see it, but all the fluid is back in the reservoir and it's at the max level. So if you look right here, you got a min and a max, and you can see the fluid is at its max level. So I'm gonna keep that extra fluid handy just to service it in case it gets low or whatever reason. Let's see. We can talk about the cylinder real quick. See if I can get this light in a better position. Power is out. So you can see where this is lowered right now. It has tension on it. It has pressure in there. So it's not like, it's also more level, right? So right there, it's way leveler than it was. And then we can put it on this side and see what I'm seeing. You can see the bubble. You can see the bubble between the line right there. So this is way more leveler than when I had it positioned like that way, which it was this morning. So now it's pretty much facing the way that it's not going to be usable. So basically, that's not going to help me. I'm going to have to face it the opposite way, which is going to cause it to like lean slightly. But right now it's staying level. So I'm wondering if I'm going to reposition it after I set the silly breaker in the house, and I'm going to see if this thing kind of tips to the side or not. But that's what I was concerned about this morning. Because when I called the guy, he was like, yeah, there's some play in it. I'm like, well, this thing is like literally touching the side. It was literally touching the sides. So I was concerned about that. If you watch that video, you'll see what I'm talking about. But right now, it's pretty solid. So what can I say about this unit? It operates. I haven't tested it for functionality yet. Obviously, I haven't put a car on it yet. Only because I still have the snap ring. That's what it's called, snap rings. I gotta find some snap rings to get that arm, that pin. Get the snap ring on that pin, these big ones. And then I gotta get these small snap rings installed onto this thing. And then I gotta figure out where these plugs go. I know the shims are for the shims, which I'm not using. And then figure out if these are just extras and where those goes. And that should be it for this. Like I said, I'm not using this because, as you can see, this has a lock washer and a flat washer. This just has a flat washer. And that's just so I can have, you can feel it, but it's just barely, it's not fully catching that last thread, but it's definitely not like that where it goes through. And that's what I was saying. If they had used a long bolt, this has what, 9? 4 down the center and 1 in the middle. So it has 9, and the 4 down the side, they're long, and then this one is short, I think, for this chain right here, so it doesn't like run the risk of like catching on it for whatever reason. But these are 12mm hex, which I had to go buy at AutoZone to get those installed. I hit up my the YouTuber there, Mortar Tech. I believe that's his channel. And he said there was no torque specs that he's aware of. He just cranked down on them. I torqued these to 100 foot-pounds, all of them, the base column, along with these, the carriage ones. Not sure if that's adequate, but I'll probably end up cranking down on them some more. Then I'm not sure where this goes. I got to go back and look and see what I missed. Someone knows, let me know. And I'll appreciate it. But yeah, it works. It operates, and I'm pretty sure it will work. And I mean, as you can see, I still have space in the garage. All this stuff is like small stuff. And then I got one more big piece that's coming for my garage. And when I get it, I'll show you. But I probably won't be doing any videos for a while. I got to get this place tidied up. It's been a lot of work. I still got to install the side mount on the garage door. I got to paint. I got to grout all that stuff over there. So I keep moving stuff back and forth, which is annoying. But I gotta grout, get that stuff grouted so I'm not cracking any more tiles. And then seal the floor, seal the grout lines, seal the tile with a sealer that I have. So I at least want to get those done. And yeah, get some paint on this wall, make this place look spiffy. But super excited with this lift as it is. It looks robust. I'm pretty sure it's going to be slightly unnerving when it goes up, and it has a little bit of shake to it, but I'm confident that it's going to be adequate. I'm not the first one to operate this. I'm not the first one to have those concerns. So I've heard those concerns, and I'm good with them. I think I'm going to get either a pole jack or I'm probably going to invest in the what do you call it? The Esco tall ones. So I had the short ones already, and those are pretty beefy. So if I get the short ones, man, there's nothing that, if I get the tall ones, this thing is not coming down when I'm under there, because I'll use those ones to support the arms, basically, under the car. A little bit more cumbersome because a lift like this is supposed to be like, get in and get going, but I don't mind taking extra precautions by getting those Esco jacks. It's pretty expensive, but yeah. I don't really spare expense when it comes to safety or peace of mind. But yeah, this thing is a beast. This thing is not getting outside this garage. It's pretty much stuck in here. Definitely it's not going through this door without being disassembled. But yeah, I would say the assemble process, it needs two persons. You can get it lifted on a vehicle or trailer, using a forklift. And then if you have like an engine crane or something that's suitable, you can get it offloaded, a dolly, a floor jack, something. But to get it assembled, you definitely need, for your own safety and for the safety of everything else and everyone else around you, you need someone else to help you lift that column, because there's no way you're going to lift that by yourself. Absolutely not. I'm not even going to say I tried, but I attempted, and it did not even budge. So is this center carriage arm. It doesn't even have the little arms attached yet. It's just a centerpiece, the L shape, and you are not going to move that. But once you get that thing installed, the rest of it is pretty much, once you get this vertical column installed and that center carriage install, and maybe a little bit of assist with this thing because of how awkward this thing is the rest of it is just you just doing simple stuff. The manual is not the greatest. It's not very detailed. Clearly that's why I have bits and pieces. It just shows you pictures. It doesn't really, it tells you to assemble. It tells you to assemble. Like if I look back at this, so assemble the main, all right, I'm gonna switch this around a little bit. It says assemble the main side arm restraint for column side and swing arm to the lifting frame, figure 26 and 27, and that's all it shows you. It does not show you the fact that you need to do a snap ring. It does not show you that you need to, insert the pin and then put a snap ring at the bottom of it. So this is where you end up with pieces on a machine like this. You don't want to have pieces left over. That's certainly not adequate, even though these are like small pieces, but they could be vital to the safety and functionality of the unit. So without further ado, actually, here's what I don't know. I don't know if I actually tripped the power in the house. Since the family's in there, they're probably thinking I'm leaving them out of the hang. I'm gonna end this video and go see if I actually tripped the power throughout the whole house. Get it back on. Anyway, I'll make a video when I lift the car. And in that, I'll also talk about if I find where those things go, a little Jewish knowledge I come across. But yeah, that's it for now. And like I said, I have one more big thing coming up, which I'm not sure if I'm going to necessarily film it because it's probably something you've seen before. But I'll definitely do my next video. We'll see. I get bored, so I might do another video at some point. But my next video, I'm hoping that it's gonna be, the garage will be, you know, finished. If not, it has 1 or 2 little items that I like to tweak because I'm slightly a perfectionist. But yeah, I would say the lift is a success. Looks really nice. It takes up I mean, this is definitely, I don't know, toolbox or lift. Which one is the centerpiece of this garage? Probably the centerpiece is the toolbox because it's like in the center, but the lift is going to be off on the side. And someone made a comment that, you know, well, I don't have space left. That's because all that stuff is small stuff. As soon as I clear out this little closet behind me, all that stuff is going to pretty much go in there because it's not stuff I use on a daily basis for the most part. And I don't know, I've gotten really good at organizing, so we'll make it work. Yeah. Anyway, this video is long enough. Just want to give you something to look at. Yeah, it will be great. The last thing I'm going to do tonight is, well, reset the power, like I said a million times. But I'm going to try to position it the opposite direction that way and see if that column, like I said, the cylinder tips. But anyway, enough of this talking thing. So as me always say, like I know hit it thing.